Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Anime and Biro. Today we're talking about fan fiction and fan art, and today I am joined with Elsa.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm perfect, and thank you so much for the invitation. And just a friendly reminder that I speak Spanish, so maybe like Sofia Vergara, I am smarter in Spanish.
Do you even know how smart I am in Spanish?
No, don't worry about that. Your English sounds very good, and obviously for your fans we'll try and put some subtitles in as well, okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Can I get you a drink?
Yes, please.
This is basically a gin and tonic with a few extra steps. The ingredients are lemon juice, a rosemary and honey syrup mix, a shot and a half of gin, shaken with ice, poured into a tall glass with more ice, then topped off with tonic water, a dash of beer brew glitter, and a drop of grenadine for colour. And there you have it, a Sugoi G&T.
And I don't know if you can see, guys, but it has glitter and it has my favorite color. So thank you very much for this beautiful cocktail. So I'm giving a sip right now.
Excellent.
I really love it. I really love gin. So, well, for me, it's an easy thing with gin.
Yeah.
I mean, you could put it with, I don't know, soap. And maybe I'm gonna like it, gin. But this cocktail is really, really amazing. So thank you so much.
Not a problem at all. My favourite actually is Negroni, if I'm going to have gin or anything like that. So.
Yeah, Negroni is amazing.
And I am drinking Colimita Lager. It's a Mexican lager. So, let's get to it.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about your illustrations, because I've seen your illustrations on Instagram. I've seen a few of them, a lot of them actually Jujutsu Kaisen illustrations. So when did you first start illustrating?
Well, first of all, I'm obsessed with Jujutsu Kaisen right now, but at the end of the day, I'm really obsessed with anime. But Jujutsu Kaisen, in fact, was one of the main reasons I started illustrating. I started drawing. It was sort of like a calling. I know it sounds kind of corny.
No.
But I had this calling, like Elsa in Frozen, like let it go, But I mean, kind of that calling. But many years ago, I used to take some arts classes when I was really young. I think maybe 12, 13 years old. But I remember I studied music, I studied theater, I studied drawing, illustration, watercolors and everything. So it was just there, but it was a calling that I didn't attend at the moment. And also, illustration is something that people sells you as a hobby.
Yeah,
all the time.
They always say that.
I think it happens all the time with artistic stuff. I mean, if you want to be in the music world, everybody tells you, you can have a band in your free time, and it's like, man, music is really freaking hard. To learn a freaking instrument is really hard.
Yeah.
So what are you talking about? A hobby? An instrument needs to be something you practice, and it's also about illustration. The same thing. You need to practice. You need to learn, to check tutorials nowadays. And then after that, I was really interested in designing. I was interested in, graphic design, maybe in arts. Yeah. But I decided to study philosophy.
Okay.
It was heavier, my love for books and just thinking about ideas that go nowhere. So I thought, philosophy is kind of my stuff. So years went on. And then the pandemic happened. The pandemic happened for all of us, and it was really hard times. But then during the pandemic, that's where again the calling happened. And I worked as an editor in a female magazine. We had this kind of partnership with Apple, so they always were like, do you want to test some gadgets? And I was like, of course I want to test some gadgets for free. So one day they sent me this iPad and an Apple Pencil, and I started just doodling around, like just writing some stuff, and then I downloaded Procreate. And I started, making some lines, making some drawings, making some doodles, and coloring some manga panels, because at the moment I was reading a manga called Dokusei by Asumiko Nakamura. It was another great discovery from the pandemic. And then I started to really like drawing. And
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is the time where I am in my place, all alone with a freaking virus out there.
Yeah.
Maybe I could do something about it. So I decided to start learning how to draw.
Yeah.
And then I started tutorials for to learn how to draw hands, faces, and everything. I always thought that drawing the human body, the human face was really hard, and I was never gonna get into that. But then I discovered that I really loved drawing portraits.
Oh,
and
okay.
everything.
Yeah.
So it was just a process. I mean, to get that iPad, to get Procreate, to get this, let's say, the technical stuff. And also, I mentioned Jujutsu Kaisen earlier, as I started reading the manga because I couldn't deal with the freaking spoilers. Yeah, the anime. I just watched the anime, and it was really amazing. And then on Instagram, all the freaking fan art had these freaking spoilers, really heavy spoilers.
Exactly the same for me. Like, I was scrolling through TikTok, you know, all the memes had spoilers. My wife was like, okay, yeah, no, we're gonna go and buy the manga and we're gonna go see it. And I'm like, okay. And I was really reluctant, but kept getting so many spoilers. I'm like, fine, I'll read it. And we just started reading it. Yeah.
I know, it's amazing how much of all the spoilers you can get in just one going through Instagram. And then I was like, oh, what is the solution to not get spoiled and everything? Because the spoilers were really, really heavy. And I thought, well, I need to read the manga.
Yeah.
So I started reading the manga, and I was really, really amazed of the drawing of Gege Akutami.
Yes.
I mean, I know a lot of people, really mean people, say that he has this, like, not really, really that cool drawing. I mean, of course, it's really unfair if you compare it, I don't know, to Berserk. But at the end of the day, I think Gege Akutami has this really dynamic style,
Yes.
really violent
Yeah.
lines. I mean, all the looks and the way he draws hands and the way he draws expressions, I think they're really violent in a really good way. So that was really inspiring for me. So to check these violent traces and to start drawing, that mixture was really like my biggest motor to start drawing. So I started illustration officially during the pandemic, and now, well, here we are.
No, perfect. It's almost like a big journey, you know? You know, you've started like in loads of different things. It's almost like you're trying to find your creative process, and then like, you know, you go into philosophy as well, which is obviously to do with critical thinking, and it's like, okay, that's great. And I feel like that I kind of see that kind of detail in your work in general, because something really like similar to Jujutsu Kaisen art style, but also these really vivid colors as well that come through. What I wanted to move on to in this case then is you have a lot of like Jujutsu Kaisen like illustrations, especially with Gojo and Geto, no?
Oh my god.
Yeah. So
busted.
yeah. So with that in mind, I just wanted to talk about that. What's the I don't want to call it an obsession. Would you call it an obsession?
Maybe.
Yeah, no. What's the focus of that in this case? Why is that important to you as a subject matter?
Specifically for Jujutsu Kaisen, I think it's really interesting that we see a really, just to put a word here, manly story, you know, because we are talking about fights and everything, and I really hate labeling as something, for example, it's female if it's delicate and it's manly if it's rough or something like that.
Yeah.
But it really amazes me the level of deepness of feelings that we can see in Jujutsu Kaisen if you read it carefully.
Yes.
And it's really interesting for me that Gege Akutami writes such really deep stuff, and maybe it's always maybe because of his editor or something like that. I mean, that could be a detail, but it amazes me to see Gojo and Geto relationship in this kind of story specifically. And also, I mean, I've read another mangas and watched other animes. I don't know, Dragon Ball, for example.
Yeah, sure.
That the main focus are the fights, and it's not really a bad thing because the fights are amazing.
Yeah,
the,
of course.
the special effects and the way Goku and Gohan and Piccolo are always like there and going on with the fights and everything. So this is the main subject in Dragon Ball, so it's really amazing. But in Jujutsu Kaisen, you can see a lot of details, a lot of personal things, a lot of, I don't know, just special things that make the story go deeper than just the fights or just the linear story. You just start the thing maybe thinking that all the fights are going to be against, I don't know, Sukuna or everything. But no, there are more details in the past that affect the present and that could affect the future.
Exactly.
So it's really, really amazing. So in Jujutsu Kaisen, we see this Satoru Gojo that is really goofy, but is he really strong?
Yeah.
So that combination is always awesome because usually the really strong people are these, serious god.
Like really stoic as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like some Greek god that I must suffer for my people. And
exactly.
But no, Gojo is like, I'm a teacher. I may be a bad teacher, but I'm strong. So everything's cool.
Exactly.
So the first season is about that. We see this goofy Gojo. We see the students that are really, really adorable. We see the new enemies. And also, I must say that even if I love Jujutsu Kaisen, I must admit that the first season of the anime is kind of still confusing because we don't see anything yet. We don't see the exact problem. We just see the cool fights and the cool effects, but it's not really there yet. But then we're going to have the second season that everything is going to give us these things. And what we are going to see in the second season is my favorite arc that is about Gojo's and Geto's young days. And for me, reading that was truly something that really moved me deep inside. I mean, to see this really strong guy having so complex feelings during his youth, and also having this best friend. I must insist in this agenda. I mean, if you want to call him his best friends, I mean, you can go with that. But to see that relationship going, that arc was really, really amazing, and it moved me. It moved me, and I thought it's really interesting to see that this guy who is the strongest, and everybody is like, everybody treats him like a god. I mean, because at the end of the day, he's the strongest.
He is the strongest
in that universe. But he had this friend that treated him as someone more valuable than his powers.
Right.
Yeah, and that dynamic, that relationship, and I insist that all the dialogues that they have and all the things that happen after that arc, at the Shibuya incident arc, I mean, you can call it friendship as you want, but I think there is a romance speech there. I mean, if you, and again with the critical thinking, and this is my philosophy calling there. Like this is why I started philosophy.
But I also feel that that's like a really interesting point that you're bringing up, because I think in a lot of shonen animes that we see, it's a very simple thing. I mean, we still love them, like, I mean, I still have a special place, for example, Dragon Ball, or for, Black Clover or something like that, I have a special place for that, but we know that there isn't anything deep going on between the characters, besides the regular tropes that we see. So, like in that case, I 100% get you. Like, I feel like it's more complicated. Philosophy can have its, like, place in this, because we're talking about people's feelings and how they communicate those feelings to each other. So I think I'm 100% with you. I'm not 100% on board with the ship.
Okay.
For me, personally, I feel like that you can have an incredibly strong connection with like somebody that isn't like romantic. Do you know what I mean? That's what I see between Geto and Gojo, and I think that's why if anybody watched Jujutsu Kaisen 0, I think that's why the scene at the end, I'm not going to say any spoilers, that's why the scene at the end feels all the more tragic, So obviously, like, a lot of your illustrations are around like Geto and Gojo, like as a ship. And in case nobody knows what a ship means, it's basically when we put two characters together that we feel should be, or we could class them as in a relationship, in this case a romantic one, which brings me to that question. You feel that the ship is correct, right? You feel like that it's headcanon.
Kindish. I mean, as I just said, I think there is a romantic speech there. I mean, and it's not something that is an agenda that I want to take in here, But at the end of the day, when I read the manga, I mean, in the anime we haven't seen it. On the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, you can see some details of what I'm talking about. For example, the unheard words that Gojo says to Geto, and all the freaking fandom is like, oh my god, what did he say? He said, I love you. He said, welcome. He said, everybody is just thinking about what did they say? What did he say to Geto? So when you read the manga, specifically this new arc that we're going to see at season 2, there are some things, some details that are there that you could say that are kind of romantic.
Yeah.
And also when they break up the friendship slash relationship that they have between each other, it feels like a breakup at the end of the day. So it's just really, really interesting. And I've read so many fans saying, well, I mean, I wouldn't do that with a friend. I wouldn't do that with my bestie.
Right.
Those kind of things are the ones that you do with someone that is in a really deeper relationship. So it's an interesting take on a relationship, and specifically with a main protagonist like Gojo. I mean, you see him as this really goofy teacher, this strong character, this many people say that he has this god complex thing. So a god complex person that has this relationship with someone, this really human relationship, it's really, I don't know, I find it really, really interesting. And then I say, but maybe I'm going crazy, maybe it's just my agenda, maybe it's my mind working that it's a shit that I need to happen. Well, for example, I remember this anime called Body Daddies, that it's really amazing. It's something really cute. But
I need to watch it. It's on my watch list.
It's really amazing. But for example, the relationship between the characters that are raising a child, I never saw that romantic dynamic. Never saw the romantic speech. Never saw this they were just raising a child and being friends and trying to get better for her and in their lives. But I never saw that romantic speech. So when I return to Jujutsu Kaisen, I see the dialogues that they have, the dynamics that they have, and then the Shibuya incident, and then some strange things happen to Gojo then, and I was like, it's all because of Geto. So for me, it really moved me. And I know those kind of ideas talk more about me than Jujutsu Kaisen.
Well, I wouldn't single yourself out, because it seems that obviously it kind of brings me to like another question here, that, you know, this isn't like just you're not the only person who thinks this. There's a lot of other people who think that, you know, this is a possibility. And it's like you said, in Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, everybody's like, what did he say to him, you know, like that, you know. And I do think they have a very, very close relationship. So with that in mind, do you think that your work influences the fandom or makes it stronger around that ship, or do you think that the ship has like influenced your work a lot more?
I think it works both ways.
Yeah.
When you make some fan arts or write fanfics or something like that, and then you share it with the world, people comment their takes. But also they like could agree in some ideas, others won't, but it's just a conversation that is happening, and it's really interesting to check on other people's perspectives. I have many friends that share my point of view, that Gojo and Geto had something going on, some romantic style, and it's really interesting because that I don't know if it's the correct way to say it, but you connect with the people. I have to say that one of my favorite apps right away is Tumblr. Tumblr is like this source of fanfics and fan arts. Every night before I go to sleep, I look for Sato Sugu fanfics and fan arts. I am not afraid of saying it because free of speech, whatever you want, free of feeling.
はい、京都のみんなにはとある部族のお守りを。歌姫のはないよ。いらねえよ。
On Tumblr, it's really a really amazing source to check what the fans are thinking, what the fans are saying. And I remember this day that Mappa Studios released the new poster from the second season, and you know, it's like a Gojo making this expression, and Geto is behind him laughing. And in a quick view, it almost was like they were holding hands.
Yeah.
And all the people were like, are they holding hands? They're holding hands! And everybody was really freaking crazy. The gif from The Office where Michael Scott is like, this is happening. No, they were not holding hands, unfortunately. But at the end of the day, people were really excited to see them, to see this dynamic between them. And then the trailer was released with Fushiguro, Toji Fushiguro.
Yeah.
That's another subject there.
We're going to get into that as well, because I want to talk about that. We'll use Jujutsu Kaisen as an example.
Yeah,
I think
it's right now it's my source of everything. But at the end of the day, I think you can connect with people when you talk about these ships, because they feel the same way, and it's really amazing to check that people can notice this romantic speech in some stories, and that you can connect, you can have these conversations, and you can get excited about them. And I mentioned Tumblr because something really cute happened to me 1-2 years ago. Tumblr had chats.
Yes.
It was a really cute thing from Tumblr to have chats. So you could speak with many people about things. So there was a chat about Jujutsu Kaisen. There was a chat about Devilman Crybaby. There was a chat about Inuyasha and things like that. You could talk with people specifically for that anime. So it was really amazing because you could just save some time and go direct to the subject. Yeah. So at the Jujutsu Kaisen chat box in Tumblr, there was this beautiful girl, girl or boy, I don't know, because her username or his username, I think it was her because of the things she posted, but again, just labels happening in my mind. But I remember maybe she was from Taiwan, I think, and the Jujutsu Kaisen Expo was in Taiwan. So she bought some thingies, she bought some memorabilia, she bought some souvenirs, and she was like, you know what, guys, at the Jujutsu Kaisen Expo, someone sold me these pencil pads where you can write some Japanese beautiful things for just writing.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And she said, I want to give them away, so if you give me your address, I can give you some of these. And I was like, okay, perfect. I want I want some. So I gave her my address, and yes, she sent me some memorabilia, some pens, some pencils, and then I sent her an illustration and sent her some Mexican artesanías. I sent her something for the tortillas. I told her, I don't know if in Taiwan you make tortillas, but you can put hot pans in there or something like that. So it was a really cute connection just because we really liked anime together. She never told me it's, I don't know, $10 for it. No, it was not a matter of money. It was not a matter, it was just sharing the experience of watching anime, of having the same ships, of having the same headcanons, to talk about anime. So that's where I found that fanfics and fan arts, because I upload some of my illustration in Tumblr, that you can connect with people. Unfortunately, Tumblr turned down the chats, so I didn't get her email or something like that, but it was a really cute experience to check that you can connect with someone in Taiwan, someone from Mexico, just because an illustration or an anime or a conversation that is happening, and a subject that interested both ways.
Super interesting, really, really interesting. I want to move on to actually what we were talking about before, when we were talking about, for example, like Doji and then like Geto and Gojo in this case. Before we do that, I'm going to quickly grab another drink and we will take a break.
Okay. So it was like just whatever you feel identified.
Oh my god, that's great.
I know, it was total fan service.
So I think in general, with like, for example, Geto and Gojo like being shipped together, and then we also have like Doji, which is obviously like one of the steamier characters, you know. Like I kind of get it, and what I find really interesting about that is that there's a lot of fan art and fanfic about those things and about some of the other characters in Jujutsu Kaisen as well. Some of them are like kind of erotic, like obviously some of them I feel in my opinion take it a bit too far, but others like some of them can be, you know, kind of tasteful. But what really strikes me about it in general is Jujutsu Kaisen is not a very fan servicey anime in general. Like, we're not seeing like a huge cleavage, or we're not seeing something super erotic or super like out there for shock value, right? It's not like, for example, Black Clover or something like that, where all of a sudden you'll see like a big pair of boobs or something like that, or you know, somebody's in a bikini, you know. My question in this case is this: do you feel erotica in general, like in fan service or fan fiction, do you like agree or disagree with it, or would you want to see something erotic in a fan fiction, or would it be a bit like, oh, I'm not really sure about this?
Well, I think when you talk about erotic subjects or erotic stories, I mean, there's a universe going on there. And it's really interesting to check what really turns on people. Because, I mean, it's not only erotica in fan art or fanfics. I mean, when you talk about, I don't know, erotic movies, live action, or even, let's say, pornography maybe. Well, there is something for every taste, you know? And I know there are some problems aside from these subjects, but let's just keep it into erotica and fanfics and fan art. When you talk about desire, I think it's really interesting to check what really moves people. So when you read a fanfic and you see that there is erotic things there, I think it's just really, really interesting. And I've read a lot of that material, and sometimes it's good. I mean, let's just remember that some of the fanfics are done by sometimes really young people, or people who really are not these professional writers. So sometimes they can go round and round and round in the same situation. It's like, you have to move on, man. You have to move on. But it's interesting that they do this for free, because they also do it just for the pleasure of writing and the pleasure of sharing it, and the pleasure of maybe, and I've said many times pleasure, not only because I really like that word, because it's really exciting and it really moves them to share those kind of stories. So talking about erotica or erotic fanfics and fan arts, I think they are really good. I think they are really interesting. And as a woman, I must say that I've found really interesting things in that matter. For example, there is this illustrator that I really, really like. I think her username is Yoani. If not, I can give you the name after. But she is a really big anime fan. And she is like this background designer, illustrator. So she knows how to draw, and she likes anime. So the best combination there. So one day on her Twitter account, she uploaded this image of Goyo having sex with a woman. And everybody was like, what is going on? And,
excuse me, that looks nothing like Ghetto.
Like, but you know, the details, it wasn't that sexualized, you know, like big body or oily chest or something like that. It was just a moment, an erotic moment between an unknown woman and one of our favorite characters in Jujutsu Kaisen, and it was really amazing. Thousands of faps and likes and retweets, and most of them were women. That's really interesting. And everybody in the replies were like, I love you. What is this? I need more. So she started making a lot of fan arts. And you know what was really interesting? That she made variations of the drawing. So for example, on another illustration, I remember that she did a nanami with a woman. And then she gave us the same illustration, but the woman had 4 different skin colors. So it was like, just whatever you feel identified.
Oh my god, that's great.
I know, it was total fan service. But I just want to say that all women on the replies were going crazy, you know? So someone asked her, like, would you ever make something about Gojo and Geto alone, or some gay requests from that? And her answer was really interesting, because she was like, I'm only interested in making erotica fan art for heterosexual women. And I was like, that's something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
And all her fan arts are really, really erotic, are these crazy sex situations.
Yeah.
And then there was a problem because she opened a Patreon and everyone was like, what? They are not free anymore. And because capitalism.
Yeah.
Capitalism. But well, at the end of the day, it was really interesting to see that women were really interested in checking these illustrations, in reading erotica fanfics. So I think it's a really good way to explore those things through our favorite characters.
Yeah.
And, sex is going to always be a subject here. And when you have the opportunity to read these fantasies, to read these new ideas, to let your creativity go, especially with women, I think it's really amazing. I don't have problems with that. Sometimes I could say that it really, it's not that appealing for me. For example, underage characters when they are really, really sexualized, and I don't know. I don't know if this is an agenda of mine, but for me, as a really fan art enthusiast, I can really say when something is done by a woman or done by a man.
I completely agree with you 100%.
I'm just going to put that conversation in the table because it's really. There are big differences. I mean, I see the erotica done by these artists that I mentioned before, and it's just really interesting to see that they are really cool, but also genuine images, sexual erotica fan art. And when you see something done by a guy, and you have the oily bodies and the really big boobs and everything. It's like I don't know if I'm really into that. I repeat, I don't mean to bring this into my agenda, but for me, as every night before I go to sleep, I check Tumblr to check all my favorite fan arts for my favorite animes. It really amazes me that I have the eye to check if something is done by a guy with this sexual idea, really sexual characters, or something done by a woman, and it happens otherwise. It's just interesting that I haven't found the correct amount of examples to say otherwise.
I really completely understand your point, because obviously I think a lot of my content in general kind of analyzes that stuff, so I had to go into some of the lewd, more kind of risque stuff. And even in my TikTok now, I get AI generated art, or but it's obviously whatever guy has put the instructions in for the art to create, and it's literally the same thing. But it's the thing that bothers me a lot, and it's what you touched on just now, was for example, cover your ears, Nobara, when you sexualize underage characters. And sometimes I've seen it in the the TikToks, for example, Nobara, and she's got really big boobs and stuff like that, and it's oh man, how old is she in the first season of Jujutsu Kaisen? 14, 15? I don't know what it is, but it's okay now. But
yes, and also, it's only as you just said, and Jujutsu Kaisen again, for example, you don't have that fan service, and I understand that maybe fans want to know more about the personal stories about Yuji, Nobara, or Megumi, right? But also, when I check, I have found fanfics where they just flirt, or they have these first feelings or something like that. I really like those kinds of fanfics. That's good.
That reminds me a lot
because they are teenagers, and teenagers have feelings. So
exactly. And also, I feel obviously, I don't know if you remember like me when I was a teenager, but basically, it's really intense feelings. No, they're super intense when you're a teenager. So I think with that in general, I get Skip and Loafer ideas about that, and I'm cool with that. I feel it's great because I'm fairly new to slice of life anime in general, but I feel that kind of fanfic, wholesome fanfic, I feel it's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and also it's I repeat, a creativity exercise. I mean, to know that some people just let their ideas and just the things that go around their minds go off. It's really amazing, because I Another example is Inuyasha. Inuyasha is an amazing anime, amazing manga. Rumiko Takahashi.
I don't think I've heard of it.
Oh, Inuyasha is really amazing. It's by the same creator of Ranma.
Yeah.
So it's really, really amazing. So this anime is about travel time to the feudal Japan and the modern Japan and everything. So it's a really a work of art.
Yeah.
So many fanfics play with the travel time thing.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to do so, but many writers, fanfic writers, know how to play with that.
Yeah.
And also, let me just say that I don't only draw and make illustrations. I'm a beginner, but I do it. I also write. I love writing.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I studied philosophy, so I love writing and investigating and everything of that. And let me tell you that there is this big... You're always afraid of what you're going to write. How do you start a text? How do you, let alone a text or an article or a report, how do you begin a story? How do you begin telling people a story that they want to continue, to keep reading of that? So when I read these fanfics, I just have to say that I admire the young writers, because it's, I don't know if you're going to like this story, but I just did it, and it's up to you if you want to read it. And it's also with the fan arts. I mean, for me, it's like I'm going to put this fan art on Instagram and Tumblr, and it's like, well, if it resonates with someone, it's something cool. But at the end of the day, is you just want to share it with the world, and it takes a lot of bravery. And let alone just fanfics and fan arts, erotica and that thing. I think, I don't know, but erotica literature, it's something that we usually just dispose, like and I mean, there is really bad erotica stories, but I think there are also some good stories that we are not looking just because we have these prejudices. So it's as a big fan of those subjects, I mean, as long as you can play it cool with the correct characters and everything, it's really amazing. And with the underage characters, just like you said, when you talk about these intense feelings, these intense new situations, new experiences, that's what appeals me the most with those kind of characters. Keto and Goyo, for me, it's like you can do whatever you want.
I feel like, and I 100% agree with you on this, because I feel like I said before as well, Jujutsu Kaisen is up for interpretation because there is no fan service, and people basically make their own ideas or their own ships in this case about what characters are doing, or what kind of interactions they're having with each other. And for me, I feel like that's great in general, no? Apart from the, the Sukuna Megumi one, for me, I'm just kind of like...
I know.
He's like, okay, he's obsessed, not in that way, But yeah, no. Coming back to what you were saying about philosophy, it actually makes a lot of sense now that you have the Sugoi podcast, right? You do it, it's not just you do it with, who else?
Yeah, with a friend called Abigail. Abigail, I love you.
Yeah.
We have this anime podcast that it has been a really good adventure. Especially because we are, two women talking about anime. We thought that it was going to be the perfect formula for haters and trolls, but no, amazingly no. We have found a lot of friends on the way, a lot of good colleagues, a lot of comrades. So it has been a really, really good adventure. And also it started in the pandemic. The pandemic was the beginning for many adventures for me. And I think this podcast has helped me watch new animes apart from the ones that I already loved. For example, I remember I'm traumatized with Evangelion. I love Evangelion. I can watch it one time per year and everything, but it's like, okay, perfect. But when are you going to watch something else? Get out of your freaking comfort zone. That calling Evangelion comfort zone is a really sick thing. But at the end of the day, it was like, I want to watch more. So when Abigail and Abby and me started this podcast, it was a way for me to check another stories. And anime has been a really important part of my life since I was a kiddo. So for me to watch new stories, to watch new genres, to watch new characters, to learn about them, it just has helped my creativity going off. Starting from reading Jujutsu Kaisen and then wanting to learn how to draw, or when I see I don't know, mecha anime and wanted to check how a robot is designed. Art books are my newest addiction. I love art books. I love animation, key books. So yeah, it has been quite a ride.
With Sugoi Cast, do you talk about fan service or like fan art in general, or?
Yeah, to tell you the truth, what we want to do with the podcast is to talk in a very deep way about anime. That to see all the details, to see the things that we notice in these stories. Before Sugoi Cast, I had another podcast, but it was only me, so it was kind of a monologue. So it was really cool because it was just me babbling around and saying ideas, but there was no conversation. It was just a monologue for me it was really interesting, but I'm addicted to conversation, and I'm addicted to when another person tells you their perspective and it starts a conversation. It's amazing for me. That
it also sparks new ideas, right?
Exactly.
And it kind of challenges the way that you thought. You're like, oh, actually, hang on a second, because and
exactly.
you see that new perspective.
And the dynamics with Abby is amazing, because when I tell her, no, I noticed this in this chapter and in this movie, and then she says, oh, yeah, really? But I noticed this other two that I didn't notice. And it's like, it's amazing to see that both can have really great ideas to give to the show, to each episode. And yes, well, I always try to be careful, because you know, the thing about ships is that sometimes you think maybe it's only me thinking about it. Maybe me and another 100,000 people out there posting on their Tumblrs all the ships and headcanons that they have. And then I'm like, Abby, did you notice that maybe Satoru and Suguru have this? And Abby's like, yes, I noticed it too. And then we can speak freely about it. So in that conversation, that dynamic is really, really interesting. And I know that when you're a fan of anime, when you're a fan of manga, to talk about ships and headcanons is something kind of mandatory, because at the end of the day, you are reading stories, you're letting your imagination go. And when they listen to you, it's like, oh, maybe I thought so too. I couldn't disagree more. Yeah. And there have been people on our comment section that say, I don't agree with you guys because blah, 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 blah. And then the conversation starts. Yeah. That's why I said that it's really amazing that we have a really incredible audience that is really, really kind with their words, even if they disagree with our ideas. Yeah. But that's just how conversation must go. You don't need to threat at other people to be listened.
But they're not going, no, this is bullshit. No, do you know what I mean? They're not saying that.
No.
No, that's perfect. You are truly gifted to have a lovely audience like that. Yeah.
Hope it's still the same.
Yeah. You got a choice. You can either have, or you can have.
No, you want more?
Okay, here are the rules. Basically, whoever presses this first gets to answer. We're looking for the characters, the names of the characters, but we're also looking for the name of the anime as well, within the meme or the fan art. Are you ready?
I think so, maybe.
Yeah? I don't think I'm ready either, because I haven't seen anything. Like, I promise you I haven't seen anything. Okay, I made her do it without me looking, so this is blind.
Okay, first one.
Oh shit, you got it first. Go on.
It's Devilman Crybaby, and it's Ryo Asuka and Akira Fudo.
Oh my god.
In a really compromising situation.
Yeah. Man, that's intense, but I mean, I kind of get the ship, especially with the last episode.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Oh crap! I think I went too fast. I think it's no, I don't. Wait, is it? It's not
You can steal it.
It's not Evangelion.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the character? Which
I don't know the character's name.
I know it. Again. It's Misato Katsuragi.
Misato.
Katsuragi.
Katsuragi.
Oh my God. That's so clever.
Okay. Next one. This is my favorite.
Okay.
Okay. This is at the same time, so it's gonna be hard.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, it's the Sanrio version of Nanami and Suguru as Pum Pum Purin and Cinnamon Roll.
Oh my god, she's so good. She knows what's going on.
You're just combining both of my favorite worlds, like
Yeah, yeah.
Sanrio and Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean,
Oh, I think this one is going to be easier, so let's see who gets it right.
It's Sailor Moon,
yes.
and it's Sailor Moon. Forgotten her name. What's her name?
The name.
Of the character. The main character.
I don't know it.
Okay.
Well, in Mexico it was Serena, and in Japanese I think it was Usagi, like bunny. in
Oh my
Japanese.
God.
Yes, I don't know why the name changed, but
I know. I'm going up against a pro. I should have researched more.
But any cinnamon roll. That's
Yeah.
why I chose it. Because
Yeah,
Cinnamon Roll is the best.
Yeah.
Okay, this one's a little bit hard.
Oh shit! Oh damn it! I've seen it. Oh, it's too slow.
I think it's JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Yeah.
And I don't know the names. I would be lying to tell you the truth.
No.
I think it's the second season. It's
Okay.
Jotaro, the guy with the red hair, I don't remember, is Jotaro's dad.
Jotaro. That one.
Well, it's just that I don't remember. This one they have to go to Egypt or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember. Okay.
But
And
JoJo, another great story.
Yeah. Not really good.
You're losing now. Okay.
Awfully.
This one.
Oh,
Ah,
it's Tokyo Ghoul, but I can't remember the guy's name.
Oh god.
it was. Isn't written in the cover Ken? No, right?
It's
No.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is
I don't know which one is it either. This one.
Tokyo Ghoul. But yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
You
Ken
have the
Kanaki.
point then. You have the point.
I have the point.
Okay, next one. This one is funny.
It's Anya.
Yeah.
It's Anya from Spy Family, but why have I forgotten the dad's name? I don't remember the dad's name.
It's
Remember either.
Lloyd.
Lloyd.
Lloyd Forger,
Oh,
yeah.
damn it.
The Forger family
Yeah.
in Walmart.
Okay.
I'm gonna split the points.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
It's who got
But you just pressing it and don't even.
I know it.
Okay, who is it?
It's Attack on Titan. It's Levi.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay. As a cat.
Liva Ackerman.
Yeah. I can't, man.
Okay, I think this is the. We still have two more.
Okay.
I love these. I love
okay,
these cat.
okay.
I love these cat ones. They're great.
Yeah.
Who got it?
I know it's My Hero Academia, and it's his name.
I know the name.
Yeah, Fire and Ice. No, I forgot his name.
Done?
Todoroki. No?
Todoroki. Yes.
Yeah.
As a. Where's it? Duck.
As a duck.
Duck. Okay, next one. This is my favorite. So. Yeah.
It's Jujutsu Kaisen, and it is Gojo as a cat.
You should ask about the cat lore of Gojo.
Is there cat lore?
Katoru.
Katoru?
Yeah.
There's a lore that.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh my god! I had no idea.
Creativity again.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the last one. I don't know who's winning, but we'll see in the way.
All right.
And
It's
Um,
why am I forgetting?
it's from Chainsaw Man, and it's the name. I just forgot
The
the name.
name is the problem,
It's,
I know. Wait. I'll wait for you to think.
Okay, it's I just forgot her. Just for the emotion.
Dan,
Power.
Power. Yeah.
Yeah.
a Shrek.
A Shrek.
One of my favorites.
Shrek word.
That's it.
Thanks everybody for sticking around and being with us. Thank you very much, Elsa, for being here.
No, thank you so much for the invitation.
No,
and the
not a
cocktail
problem.
and the Satosugu shipping talking.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. I've enjoyed myself thoroughly. I hope everybody at home has enjoyed themselves too, as well. Thanks so much, and we will, or I will, in this case, join you for a beer or a drink in the next one. Cheers.
Cheers.